Mayes, it's awesome to have you on with us today. Thank you for your time.
Hey guys, it's great to be with you.
Now, I only assume that do all lawyers know each other? Because this is like
we meet at the lawyer meetings.
Is there lawyer meetings
No.
where Barry and Kris hang out and we talk law stuff or whatnot?
Unfortunately, no. We need more lawyer meetings.
I do love Barry.
Yeah,
I do love Barry's show.
It's a small group of people that you're a part of, but hey, it's there anyway. Attorney General Mayes, I have a question. Do you know how many times you have sued the Trump department now? Are you guys keeping track? Is there a scoreboard up on the wall in front of you?
No scoreboard, but it is 11. 11. It's 11 times. Yep. And
I know one of the big ones. Well, I will say I don't know if it's the big one. I guess according to you is the one regarding the National Institute of Health and the impact it's having on Arizonans. Can you tell us where we are with that?
Yeah, so last week we sued Trump. We had to sue Trump 3 more times. The NIH lawsuit was one of them, and that was one where Arizona, if I'm not successful, will lose primarily our universities, ASU, U of A, NAU, about $239 million in grants. Again, guys, grants that were already appropriated by Congress. So this is about upholding the rule of law and protecting the separation of powers, as Barry knows, and as he talks about a lot. This is about preserving and protecting the Constitution, and that's what we're doing. Frankly, in all of these lawsuits.
Mm-hmm. Attorney General Kris Mayes joins us here on KTAR. Have we had success yet? Talk to us about some of the lawsuits that have been filed. I know we were seeing some initial orders and preliminary injunctions coming out. Talk to us about the successes and other things that have happened in these suits so far.
Yeah, I mean, Barry, we haven't really lost a single one of these lawsuits. We've gotten, temporary restraining orders in almost every single one of them. And as you know, that's really hard to do. Basically, it's a judge saying that the attorneys general are likely to win on the merits. And it's that federal judge putting a pause on what Donald Trump is doing. And, so we feel good about that win-loss record. I don't feel good about having to do this. It's not something that I wanted to have to do. But, I guess the question is, when is Donald Trump going to stop doing unconstitutional things? And that will be the day when I stop suing him.
It's one of the things that surprised me the most is when the folks for Trump come out and say there are so many more injunctions issued against this president than in history. And the response, of course, is he's the first president to just flood us with unconstitutional orders and actions. It's a whole new world we're living in. Isn't that right?
I mean, it's a completely new world. It's just unbelievable, And the first, to your question, Barry, as well on how we're doing, our first lawsuit was on the birthright citizenship executive order, where the president thought he could basically, strike out the 14th Amendment of the Constitution. I mean, a Reagan-appointed judge who was 92 years old, took 25 minutes and called it blatantly unconstitutional. Yeah. And then on down the line, we've gotten TROs, TRO stopping the federal funding freeze. We got a TRO stopping the firing of 25,000 probationary federal employees, which, guys, by the way, included, they were going to fire hotshot crews up in Payson right before the fire season. I mean, it's just insane the kinds of things they were going to do. They were defunding Meals on Wheels. They were defunding Head Start for a day. The Medicaid portal was completely shut down in Arizona as a result of these actions.
I don't think there's much argument that it wasn't thought through very well, as evidenced by this. Again, we're talking to Arizona Attorney General Kris Mayes. So I have a question for you. Even in some of the cases where either you or the states have won, or some of the pending ones, let's say you win, what happens if Trump just ignores the courts? Because that's been one of the concerns moving forward, hasn't it? That he'll just say, well, what are you going to do about it?
I mean, that is, Bruce, that is the $64,000 question. That is the ball game, right? Because if that happens, then we effectively no longer have a constitutional republic. And if we're about to find out, and this is surreal, Bruce. It's surreal that you're even having to ask me
Yeah.
that question and
Yeah.
that I am answering it,
Yeah.
because we've never been in this kind of a situation. I believe we are in a more perilous time than we have ever been since the Civil War.
Hmm.
And if that happens, we're going to have to see. I mean, and we're also about to find out whether the United States Supreme Court still believes in the Constitution, whether it still believes in the separation of powers, whether it still believes in America. That's why we're fighting so hard. That's why I am fighting so hard, to make sure that we protect Arizonans and that we uphold our Constitution and the rule of law.
Arizona Attorney General Kris Mayes is with us. Let me ask you this. Social Security, Trump has said he's not going to touch Social Security, but we know that Elon Musk went in with DOGE and just started letting Social Security employees go, and it's having an effect. What is Arizona doing in that respect? Are there lawsuits? Are we taking any steps to help our folks on Social Security?
Well, it's interesting that you asked me that question, Barry, because yes, I am very, very worried about it, and that is why we put up on our web site a page where people can go to report any disturbances to their checks if they are not getting their check or if they're having trouble getting a hold of Social Security. And I have not yet publicly talked about this until tonight on your show or today. But we have received more than 36 reports already from people who say they have not received their check in a timely fashion.
Their Social Security check.
Correct. Wow. A disruption to their Social Security check. And 1.5 million Arizonans rely on their Social Security check. 45% of all Arizonans over the age of 65 rely on Social Security for about half of their total income. And then I'll tell you, so we've got 60 total people complaining. The other people told us things like they were hung up on by Social Security when they tried to call in to change their direct deposit information or their address. They had trouble getting a hold of a human being to be able to do that. They had trouble going into an office to get that done.
Wow.
And essentially delaying their receipt or their ability to get Social Security. I think it's really, really scary. And I will tell you, this is, we're going to drill down further on this information, but it very well could end up being evidence in a lawsuit that we file.
The Attorney General is with us, Kris Mayes. Very quickly, the Arizona fake electors case, what's the status? I know it was up on appeal. What's the latest?
Yeah, so still ongoing. I have no intention of backing off of that case. As you know, a grand jury indicted 18 individuals and accused them of trying to undermine the 2020 election. I believe that is the gravest possible thing that anyone can do in a democracy. And so, we are dealing with what's called an anti-SLAPP motion, and that is up on appeal. I feel good about that. I feel good about, getting to trial in January. I wish it wasn't so far out. I know people are frustrated about that. I am as well. But we're going to go forward. As you guys know, the legal system isn't supposed to move or change or zig or zag based on who is the president or how much Donald Trump won the election by in Arizona. But a grand jury issued those indictments, and we're gonna push forward.
Appreciate it, Attorney General Mayes. Thank you for your time today. Thank you, and also for updating us on what's going on out there. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Good to see you.
All right, that's Attorney General Kris Mayes with some updates from everything from fake electors to some of the lawsuits. And I think there's some you win some, you lose some going on there. But I think what I find interesting is the things that Attorney General Mayes is suing the Trump administration over. You would think would be kind of nonpartisan things.
They are nonpartisan things. It's constitutional things,
right? But she's part of only a group of Democratic.
That's how it works.
But you've got AGs in states, Republican AGs who don't care if People don't
No,
get Social Security, or they don't care if, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're right, and it's ridiculous because the Attorney General is supposed to be is the chief law enforcement officer of each state, and you would think they'd be stepping up no matter Republican or Democrat. But Bruce, we're seeing this now. U.S. senators who have spent their career saying I'm in favor of constitutionality and law, rule of law, and free trade, and all of a sudden they're not saying a word. But it was interesting when
cat got their tongue.
She said of the 11 she's filed against Trump, they've prevailed in almost all of them, at least up to the first part of getting a temporary restraining order.
Right.
And that doesn't happen automatically. For the court to stop the president from doing something, you have to show that court that there's a most likely we are going
Big
to
chance
win.
you're going to win.
And that's
that
most
TRO.
likely. And it's a high standard.
Appreciate it. Appreciate Attorney General Kris Mayes for joining us and, again, getting us up to speed on that.
Thanks for watching Outspoken with Bruce and Gaydos. Tap to watch more from KTAR News and click the button in the middle to subscribe.